How to work in mental health, what it's like working for the NHS as a mental health practitioner.
Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel. If you're on YouTube, click the alert notification button, and if you like the video, please click like and share.
Hi everyone, my name is Verity and I'm a trainee education mental health practitioner working for the NHS. And quite a lot of people haven't heard of my job before, so basically just to say a little bit about what I do. We deliver low intensity cognitive behavioural interventions to children and young people in schools who have mild to moderate mental health difficulties. So for my undergraduate degree, I did childhood studies for 3 years at the University of Bristol, and then after that I went on to do a psychology conversion masters for another year also at Bristol. And I do really think that my degree helped me to get the role because as a requirement for the role, you need to have some sort of formal study in child development or mental health. And I think that having childhood studies, having done that for 3 years, I think that was a really big help in me getting the role. Having the masters wasn't actually required for me to get the role, so you don't have to have a masters to become an education mental health practitioner, but I do think it probably added to my application as well. And the role itself involves a university aspect in the first year while you're training, so I think it's important to show that you will be able to deal with the number of assignments and that kind of thing that you'll be doing in the first year. So this role really stood out to me because of the opportunity to train alongside placements in schools, and you get a postgraduate diploma after the first year, and it's fully funded, and they fully fund your tuition fees as well as paying you a salary on top of that. So it seemed like an amazing opportunity to get further training whilst also getting experience and being able to support my livelihood. My career goal is to work as a psychologist one day, so this is really invaluable experience for me, working face to face with children and young people. And it's such a new and exciting role, and it's really gaining momentum at the moment, so it's really exciting to be part of the mental health support teams in schools. A typical day in my role is a tricky one because it's so varied, which is one of the things that I love about this role. So 3 days a week we have placement. Sometimes that can be 2 days in placement, 1 day of sort of admin, supervision, that kind of thing. And then we have 2 days of university every week during a university term time. So university days involve things like group work, group discussions, role plays, lectures, guest speakers, that kind of thing. And our placement days involve going into schools and doing one-to-one interventions with children and young people, or group interventions. We do workshops, we do psychoeducation, like healthy eating, sleep, hygiene, all that kind of thing. And we also work on a whole school approach to mental health and making sure that staff and parents and carers are all involved as well. So there's lots of variety in the role. The 3 words I'd use to describe my job would be rewarding, fast-paced, and exciting. So I think the best part about this role for me is getting to work face-to-face with children and young people who have mental health difficulties such as low mood or anxiety, because it's so rewarding knowing that you're making a difference in a young person's life. And there's a real emphasis in my service on early intervention and catching these difficulties while they're more mild to moderate before they get to a severe level where they could have long-term effects and really impact the future of a child. And I'm really passionate about making sure that we do intervene early and catch these problems before they get more serious. So for me, that's the best part, is getting to help children and young people. The most challenging part about my role is probably how busy it is. Because we are training alongside clinical work, we have very busy calendars. They can get quite jam-packed during the week because we're sort of juggling university lectures with university assignments. So we have a wide variety of different assignments. So case reports, reflective reports, presentations, role plays, essays and a portfolio as well, so we have to get 90 hours of clinical work across the first year, which does seem like quite a lot, and I'm only just starting that now, so we'll see how that goes. But then you're also going into schools and delivering the interventions and doing the clinical work alongside that. So yeah, it is quite busy, but I quite enjoy being busy, so it suits me. But yeah, it can get a little bit busy and stressful, so I'd say that's probably the biggest challenge of the role. Advice when applying for this role would be to let your personality shine through. You know, obviously it's important to show that you have the experience that they're looking for, so some prior experience of working with children, young people with mental health difficulties, and having that degree level knowledge in child development or mental health. But those are crucial aspects for your application. And obviously it's good to use the person specification and make sure you're hitting those criteria and demonstrating why you'd be good for this role. But I think it's also important to let your personality shine through, make it a bit unique to you, examples of when you've gone the extra mile, all that kind of thing. They'll be looking for something that really stands out. And then when it comes to the interview, you know, everybody is going to be nervous for the interview. I certainly was, and I didn't even think my interview went that well, but I was pleasantly surprised. And yeah, my top tip for interviews is to give yourself time to breathe, and you don't have to answer a question straight away. Don't rush into it. Take a breath, have a drink if you need to. I did that as well, just to give myself some time to think. And yeah, just take the pace nice and slowly, and it might go better than you think. So my ultimate career goal is to gain a place on the clinical psychology doctorate, and those of you in the psychology field will know that that is incredibly competitive to get onto. So it's always good to have other plans just in case, you know, after a few years of applying, I might decide not to go down that route. So if I don't get onto the doctorate, I would love to continue to work my way up through the mental health support teams in schools. I think it's such an exciting new initiative that I'd love to be a part of, and I'm so glad that I am now. And another option is to go down the route of high intensity cognitive behavioural therapy training. So that would be another year of a recruit to train post, and then becoming a cognitive behavioural therapist. So there's lots of different options in the psychology field, so I'm not sort of sticking to just one route, and I'm keeping my mind open. But I know that I definitely want to be in the field of psychology for my career.
If you enjoyed this video and want to share your graduate career with us for the chance to win £300, click the link in this video's description on YouTube and follow the instructions to submit your entry today.